Donald Trump had been speaking for a few minutes, and I kind of see this one guy, and just kind of stood out to the crowd. Had a megaphone on his hip, had a backpack on, and couldn't make out really what he was saying, chanting, but he was just walking around, he was just out of place. And I remember turning to my bike, I was like, I really don't like the way that guy looks. He just kind of brushed it off. He's like, oh yeah, that's probably just some lady. And it was literally a minute and a half later, we see people start running in the opposite direction of the stage. What the heck's going on? What's going on? And we're like, kind of cautious, but all of a sudden back of our mind, we're like, somebody pulling a prank or something, and people are running, and then we start hearing, shooter, shooter. And still we're like, there's no shooter, they have this place security.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as, we say that out loud, you hear a couple shots pop off. Duck down behind the tree, cover the boys up. And, I look up, see if I can see what's going on. And shots going off, and that's when I kind of look up at the roof. I see the shooter. Saw the shooter get shot. My name's Jesse, and here to talk about the assassination attempt on President Donald Trump that took place earlier this month.
Okay, can you tell me a bit about that? Whatever you'd like to share?
Sure. It's kind of my first time talking about it in its entirety, so excuse any emotion that may come up, but
It's okay. You just share what you feel comfortable sharing.
sure. Basically, what it brought us there was our company was hosting their truck there. It was kind of a publicity stunt, and we're using one of our boom trucks to hoist the American flag for the rally. And a couple of us were there just to kind of babysit the truck just in case anything were to happen, make sure it stayed safe. And we were parked across the street at a gun and ammunition parking lot.
It's ironic.
And, once the final speaker before Trump got off stage, our boss said, we could walk over and go watch kind of a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence for us. And so we made our way. We didn't go inside the facility. We were kind of along the fence that was positioned in between Trump and the building where the shooter was.
Oh wow.
Started to, just hang out and talk to people around us, wait for Trump to get on. And the anticipation that was obviously it was exciting. I just remember feeling excited, happy. It's not every day you get an opportunity to see the former president of the United States in person speaking. So just excited to see how he is actually in person compared to what the media puts out.
What you see, yes.
And not to say that I'm fully Trump or fully Biden or one way or the other, but just to see a historical figure in person is exciting for me. And he came on, everybody was excited, everybody was cheering him on. It felt like you were at a sports event.
I've heard that from so many people, and that's the energy it was.
Yeah.
And I've heard so many people say it was like a car cruise, just because it was like a family event, is what it felt like.
Everybody was interacting with one another, everybody was offering a drink or food, it was awesome. It was like you were either tailgating for a concert or, at a sporting event. When he came on, everybody was cheering crazy, like their home team just came onto the field. It was awesome. And, he started talking, and I just remember zoning in and out because I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually here listening to this guy and speak in person.
Kind of surreal.
Yeah. And it's weird because, so my buddy, my boss, and my buddy's two boys were there. And we're sitting up along the fence, standing along the fence. And, Donald Trump had been speaking for a few minutes. And I kind of see this one guy, he just kind of stood out to the crowd. Had a megaphone on his head, had a backpack on, and couldn't make out really what he was saying, chanting, but he was just walking around. He was just out of place. And I remember turning to my bike, I was like, I really don't like the way that guy looks. He just kind of brushed it off. He's like, oh yeah, that's probably just something I do. And it was literally a minute and a half later, we see people start running in the opposite direction of the stage. What the heck's going on? What's going on? And we're like, kind of cautious, but all of a sudden back of our mind, we're like, somebody pulling a prank or something, and people running, and then we start hearing, shooter, shooter. And still we're like, there's no shooter, this place is security.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as, we say that out loud, you hear a couple shots pop off. Duck down behind the tree, cover the boys up. And, I look up, see if I can see what's going on. And, the shots going off, and that's when I kind of look up at the roof. I see the shooter, saw the shooter get shot.
Wow.
And I just, you're in that gun. And your first reaction is obviously to take care of the kids.
Oh yeah.
You see the shooter get shot, and you're like, wow, this is really bad.
Yeah.
I remember just texting my wife, no, there's a shooter. I love you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know.
You don't know what's
going
going
on.
on. Yeah.
At that point, we didn't know if it was, we didn't know it was an assassination attempt. We just heard gunshots. So we didn't know who was shot, how many were shot. I saw the shooter get shot, a couple minutes go by. People start to get up. And then people duck down again because they think there's another shooter. And at that point, I don't know if my adrenaline kicked in, but police started rushing from inside the event, outside of the fence where we were.
Okay.
Because again, we were outside of the event along the fence. The building, so we're here. The shooter building is here. Trump here. So police are coming out, over, popping over the fence, and they're trying to get these people in the fence.
Yeah, we need to go.
Help. So we're like, me and a couple other guys are like, bending down the saloon.
That's awesome.
Letting the cops run over, and I remember, I don't have a gun on me, but there were some people there that had, personal weapons on them, and they were running towards where the shots were.
Yeah.
And the cops didn't stop. The cop, I remember hearing, we appreciate your help.
We appreciate
need you
it.
to know there's a possibility you might die.
Wow.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, these people really love their country, and they really care. And it was in the midst of something tragic happening. I just remember that standing out like, wow, there's people have enough heart to run towards gunfire. It's not like we're in war or anything. It just goes to show that there are people that care about this country. And that was something that kind of took me back in a brief moment to kind of like blocked out everything else that was going on. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, respectable.
Yeah. That calmed down. Or that feeling immediately went away, and I was like, okay, I need to get out of here. My buddy had his boys that he starts running, the crowd starts running towards their vehicles and stuff. So we run with the crowd. And I just remember like being real shaky, real hyper aware of everything. It felt like I was running in slow motion. But I remember running, I see that guy that I pointed out to my buddy
That you didn't like.
that I didn't like. And he was walking against the crowd that was running with his megaphone, shouting something. I wish I could put together in words what it was.
Well, if you ever recollect that, you let me know, because I'm just as curious as you.
And it makes you think like, I wonder, you know, I don't want to put out any
Conspiracy.
yeah. But I know there's definitely more than one person there that disliked Trump. I'm not saying there was more than one person involved in what happened, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I remember vividly Trump was pulling up charts on the,
Now, could you see Trump where you
Yes.
were? So you were basically right smack dab in between. Okay.
and I remember there was a part where he brought up the charts.
Uh-huh.
He was talking about the charts. And I feel like I'm in school right now. But whenever I was looking at the charts, and that's when I saw the people run. And I remember people running, feeling confused. And I hear shooter, shooter, shooter. And my mind plays through like every kind of television show or movie where
That happened.
you hear that.
Yeah.
No, this is real life. This isn't happening. And when I hear shooter, 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 that's when I hear it. It was like 5-10 seconds of processing, and I hear the shot. This is for real. And I heard like one or two. We were down by the street, a couple of boys, and that's when I was like trying to see if I could see where it comes from. And where I heard the sound took me to that building. And then I hear pop, 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 pop. It sounded like, kind of sounds like popcorn in a microwave. And that noise just kind of sticks with you. And ironically, it was like a month before this, maybe a month and a half, I do security at a church in Pittsburgh. And there was a situation where there was a shooting outside across the street. And I remember sitting inside the building. And I hear the gunshot. It sounds like once you hear a gunshot, you'll never mistake it for a firework.
Yes. Yep.
And I remember hearing that pop. Pop, pop, pop was the one at the church. And I remember texting the guy and like, those were gunshots right there. And he didn't respond because he was already out the door.
Responding to it.
It was across the street. Had nothing to do with the church.
You still want to make sure
But
it's secure.
you heard it, and you want to make sure everybody's staying inside. But you know, that sound and the sound I heard in the rally are like, it's kind of a traumatic sound. It's very triggering to hear now.
Yep.
And yeah, so that hearing that kind of replays in my head, and then I had to turn off social media for like a week, just because I didn't want to hear the conspiracies. And I didn't want to hear the stories people are painting. I just needed time, and still needed some time to process a lot of what has happened. So I turned it off because I did see one video that would play, and there was a scream. You hear a lady scream, and it sticks out above all the rest. And I remember hearing that scream in person. And it was just the sound of like terror and like fear. Complete, like pure, unscripted fear. You know, you hear screams in horror movies and stuff like that, but that's something that kind of stays in the back of your mind and kind of haunts you. This person is truly terrified for their life, and that pure reaction is something that sticks in my head. I think we need to stop putting so much of our energy and so much of our passion and reliance into one group, whether it be Republican or Democrat. And we need to start with ourselves in our home, especially as a father, as a husband. It starts with us in our homes and how we carry ourselves in our household. If we don't start sharing what healthy love is in our home, sharing what it is to be kind, sharing what it is to respect, sharing what it is to just look out for one another and look out for one another's best interests, then the world's just going to keep divided because there's nothing that we're taught inside of our home that has more weight and it sticks with us more so. But for some reason, we're putting all of our energy into these people that we've never met before, but we have no idea what truly their best interest is, and that we only see from a media standpoint.
Yes.
And that just blows my mind. So I think we need to shift our focus from that to from that. It just kind of starts as a ripple effect. What we build on our homes kind of ripples out. Sadly for Crooks, I don't know what his home life was.
Yeah.
But he obviously did not have a sense of direction being spoken or delivered to him to the point where he just comes to the realization of, hey, this is the answer. He didn't have a voice of wisdom in his ear. And that's heartbreaking. He's painted as an evil in this world. What he did was evil.
Oh, amen. Amen.
But my heart still breaks for him and his family because that's their son that they lost. And he was feeling hurt. He was feeling pain. That action was led by pain. He was never taught how to deal with that until today. So he looked to outside resources, and a lot of that's from in a deranged way into what he did. I kind of grew up in a broken family. You said something, but that does make it harder to kind of cope with the emotions.
Yeah.
But I think circle back to the original questions: how do we go forward? If you grew up in a broken family, if you don't have that love and that ear, listening ear at home, you gotta seek help. There's no shame in therapy. I've gone through a lot of it. I've had to deal through a lot of trauma growing up, and if it wasn't for therapy, I don't know where I'd be. But there's resources out there. Whether you were at the rally or whether you're going through something at home or school or whatever, you have resources at your fingertips. If you have a cell phone, you can Google therapy, and there's plenty of free resources, let alone paid resources out there. A lot of support groups and just people who've been in similar circumstances that are willing to hear and empathize with. So that's part of what I've been seeking out to from this. It's just somebody to talk to that have this, not in this experience, but can speak into an experience similar to what you've done. Something that was also that stood out to me, and I'm just kind of thinking back to this, is the two younger boys that were with us. They knew what to do in an active shooter situation. which is, a round of applause to the school they go to for training them in that situation.
Amen.
But these kids are under 10 years old, and they know what to do in a shooter situation. And they did it, without even thinking. And that's heartbreaking.
It really is. That's so sad.
That's just, when thinking about that, it's just really, it's interesting. It's the first time I'm kind of processing that through, but you got two boys under 10 that they get shooter, and their first reaction was to get behind the tree. Even before his dad and their dad and I were able to fully comprehend what was going on.
They knew
what to do right away. Which is, it's kind of a gut punch. Like, wow, this is the society we live in now. We have to be prepared for this situation.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't even go to school, let alone a rally, and feel 100% safe. You have to be prepared for the worst. This is beyond tornado drill, fire drill. We can't even trust the person sitting next to us.
Yeah. Well, I promise you can trust me. I'm not.
That's fine.
But I get what you're saying.
It's geared away from, okay, yes, we're prepared for natural disaster, but now we have to be prepared for the worst out of the person sitting next to us. And that's a very thin line of losing all faith in humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. No, I don't disagree at all.
That's being embedded into young brains at a very young age. And I mean, I'm grateful for it, so they know what to do in case that happens. But the fact that they need that is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because now in their minds, who knows how they carry that? Are they just gonna turn their head walking down the hall or walking down the street at every person walking by and feel that they may have a gun? It's almost like we're being trained to lose faith in each other. And this is me processing out loud, but like losing faith in each other, so we just put all our faith in one of these people.
Yeah, I get it.
It's not the world we're designed to live in.
Amen. Amen to that.
Now, you might not have the same viewpoints, but instead of arguing who believes they're right and who believes they're wrong, we try to, with anything, we try to just gain an understanding of, okay, why? Why do you do it? And move your separate ways,
Yep.
Respect each other's views. You each have an understanding of why you believe that.
Yes.
And let it be. There's no need to be, oh, I am right. My way is a highway lifestyle. I don't get that.
That's the
what
least
a lot
humble
of-
response that you can have, I think.
And that's what politics have become and caused over the past decade. It's just, this is what I believe. I'm not telling you why, but this is what I believe. This is right, this is right, this is right, this is right. This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And if you don't believe it, screw you.
Yes. Yes.
You're wrong.
I agree.
You're what's wrong with this country. No. Actually, you're claiming that is what's wrong with this country.
Yes.
You're causing the divide.
Yes.
President Trump, President Biden, they're not causing any of this divide. It's us that are brainwashed by what's being pushed at us and our closed-minded views of whatever we believe.
Yeah. And I'm guilty with that too.
Sure, yeah. And there's definitely conversations where I've been stubborn in my viewpoints. It's my own ignorance.
Yes.
And I'm not a smart person. So I will blindly argue a point that I have no reason arguing. But
Been there, done that, yeah.
what I do know is a lot of our issues can be solved with kindness and love. And I've shared that on social media, the mix of a lot of our divided circumstances that have taken place over the past years. People will say, oh, it's a cop-out answer, a cop-out solution. It might be, but can we try it?
Yeah.
Can we just try being kind to one another? Or just try understanding one another's views without pointing who's right and who's wrong? Or sharing every single freaking political meme that's bashing another or conspiracy,
Yeah,
what are you going to gain?
yeah.
Nothing. You're just going to stir up more drama, more divide. That's why they put that stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
They want you to click the share button, put your little
Thing
2
there,
cents up there, so you can be labeled as one of them.
Yeah.
Just keep drawing that line bigger and bigger. No, I mean, it's not solving it.
I agree.
When's the last time somebody just commented on somebody's photo and posted, "Hey, what's up? Hey, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to?" It's all
Yep.
it's all political. It's all posting their beliefs or their standpoints of something that's going on in the country. That's what's wrong with this country. And people, it's at the access of everybody who has a phone. They're reading it, they're letting
never
it
stops.
Yeah, they're letting it feed their energy and it's fueling their fire. And if they don't have somebody kind of reeling them in or pushing them away from that, then who knows what that can lead to.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there with pretty cool stories. And if you spend a lot of your time just talking,
You never get to
you're
hear
never
it.
gonna hear.
Yep, and 9 times out of 10, at least if you're like me, you spend a lot of your time talking, you spend a lot of your time making a dummy out of yourself.
But I love to meet new people. I love to hear their stories, and I'd love to get, gotten to hear your side of things. I appreciate you having me share mine.
It's very nice meeting you, and I appreciate you. Now I'm just...
It was wonderful to speak with Jesse today. His willingness to share was so appreciated, and his perspectives on the social and political fabric of our country today was so important to be heard. There are so many issues in today's culture, from the industrialized media corporation that is so broken and continues to push narratives upon us that deplete our understanding of the good that happens in our society. Instead, we're trained to focus on the negative, on the evil, on the obscene, on the heinous. When in reality, there are good things that happen around us all the time. Jesse helped to open my eyes to the need for people to be willing to reach out for help when they need it. It's been stigmatized for so long that not being okay is not okay, but I'm here to tell you that not being okay is okay. And it starts there by realizing, hey, we're not okay. We need to reach out and speak to people, whether that be a counselor, whether that be a trusted friend, whether that be a family member. There are resources. And if anybody is struggling with anything, please feel free. Comment on my video, reach out to me. I will do anything and everything I can to try to make sure that you have an ear to listen to you. Until next time, embrace the stories that matter.